Adriana Girdler is a highly respected business productivity specialist, certified project manager, and Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. With over 100,000 YouTube subscribers, she is well known as an efficiency expert and the author of 6 books. Adriana is also the creator of Slay Project Management. Today, she will be discussing how her company can assist law enforcement officers in using project management skills to increase their marketability in the corporate world.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sammy, your podcast host for Cop to Corporate. Welcome back. Today, we are lucky enough to have Adriana Girdler. I'm going to read the list here of how many accomplishments she has before we start asking her questions. So, she is a productivity and project management expert. She's the president of Cornerstone Dynamics, which is a productivity and project management consulting firm. So basically, she helps people and organizations do what they do, but better. She's a master black belt Six Sigma expert, project management professional, author, major media guest speaker, TEDx speaker, YouTuber with a channel of over 125,000 subscribers. Go follow her now. Let's get that number up. And there's so much more she has done. So we're really excited to welcome her to the podcast. Adriana, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here, Sammy.
Based on your expertise, what's one thing that holds people back from transitioning from one field top to another corporate?
It's interesting because it's not necessarily a skill set, because you can learn skill set. It really comes down to fear. Oh my goodness, I used to be in this role. Am I going to have that ability to transition into this new role in a completely different sector? So I find the first thing is fear. Now, how do you deal with fear? You deal with fear by looking at your skill set. It's your skill set that builds your confidence. So if you recognize that right away, that when you're transitioning into any role, fear is the driving factor. So take a deep breath. And, as cops, you're in so many fearful situations anyway. So you got that handled, like down pat. Just think of this as it's an easy thing, an easy transition. Now, the key though is the skill set. So the skill sets that you get is what's going to help you increase your confidence, which is just going to decrease the fear. And just recognize, in the cop world, you've probably been in a lot more difficult, harder situations than you'll ever be at the corporate world. It really is, I'm going to say, probably easier. So just recognize that and get the right skills that are going to help you transition into whatever type of role you're going to go into from a corporate perspective.
Absolutely. So what skills would you say that cops already have, or would you recommend that they develop to ensure a successful and efficient transition into the corporate world?
Well, look, as a productivity and a project management expert, that's probably going to be the first thing on my list. So absolutely. And communication as well is going to be probably the next big thing to that, because they all link, actually, like they all link together. So why would project management be something that's really important? Because you have to understand, in the corporate world, there's really, if you want to really break it down and simplify it, there's really 2 streams that corporations do. They do their daily activities to get their product and service out the door. Those are like tactical tasks. So if you have to deliver something, it's everybody knows what to do with it. The other thing that corporations do when they're not producing their product or service and getting it out the door is they have strategies and visions, and they need to execute on those strategies and visions. So they need to create projects, and they need to do initiatives. And it's all of that that helps the organization grow. So those are usually the 2 streams that every corporation, no matter who you are, no matter what the industry, in essence, do. I have my daily stuff I have to do to put on my product and service, and I have projects. So that all being said, I've been in so many different industries, and that's something that project management sometimes gets overlooked from a standpoint of a skill set, because people think of big projects. Oh my goodness, I got this massive project. But what individuals and corporations are starting to realize is I have a lot of initiatives. Now, is initiative a project? Of course it is. It has a start, an end, and a deliverable. And that's usually the general definition of a project. So we run more projects than we realize. So that skill set is going to be instrumental, because now with artificial intelligence really coming into play, tactical things are going to be taken care of by artificial intelligence. It's the strategy and managing projects which comes behind, really understanding people, emotional intelligence, and understanding how to look at things strategically, that's going to be really important. Here's the cool thing. Cops already have this done really well without even realizing it. They do so much in investigation that those skill sets are easily transferable into projects. You just now need to understand the framework of projects and the tools and techniques to use. But in essence, you already know how to investigate. You already know how to get things accomplished and done and closing the loop. So that's already probably a lot more advanced than some people in the corporate world. It's now a question of just using the skills that you need, finding the framework, the right project management program, little self plug there, Slay, to help you along.
Yeah. So it's just really about fine tuning those skills and really recognizing what you've gained from your experience as a cop and applying it to the real world, the corporate world. So what would you say the most efficient way for cops to develop these skills and to transfer them into the corporate world is?
So I am going to give a plug to Slay, and this is
Please.
not meant to go, oh my goodness, you have to use my program. There's so many project management programs out there, but here's what I've learned over the years. I'm also an efficiency expert. So, and project management is huge. Like when you go to the gold standard of PMI, which is Project Management Institute, we have this, we call it the thick Bible. It's like a huge thick book that has so much in it. As a project manager, and for most organizations, I would say for 80% of projects, you don't need all of that. You just need practicality. So as an efficiency expert over the years that I've done, you streamline everything. And I've streamlined it for Slay. So there's just some fundamental things. So there's a framework. You have to learn how to do a project. There is a framework to it, a start, a middle, and an end. There's certain stages that you go through. But within those stages, you don't have to do every little thing that you're taught in a traditional project management course or through PMI. There's few fundamental key things over the years that I've learned that I get complimented on, that I myself use on my own clients, that this is what you have to do with all the tools and the templates. So if you understand the framework of how projects run, you can then start looking at things holistically and start cherry picking what it is you need for your particular initiative, because sometimes initiatives or projects don't need everything. And what's really cool, and this is something that is really from a corporate perspective, there are project management concepts, templates that you can use outside of a project, like risk management planning, which is a big project management thing, but you do it within your corporation. If you're doing yearly strategy planning sessions, you should understand what that is all about. So you can pull that template and tool. So that's why I always suggest to people, go for a practical project management course. Slay is just that. It's online, it's self-directed, lifetime access. You can do everything you want, whenever you want, and visit it as many times as you need, which is how we promote it. And we're constantly adding to it. So you really want a resource that's going to help you, not just a one-stop shop that is like one and done. I'm talking a resource that you can go back to that's constantly being added. And that's just going to help you immensely, not just from a project perspective, because I promise you will do a project, whether it's called a project or initiative. You will do one when you transfer to the corporate world. We're notorious for projects, for initiatives, right? But you will do that. You just need to have the right techniques and tools. And Slay teaches all of that. So
what does Slay look like when you sign up for it? What type of, are they courses, or is it like, do you get a book that you go through? What does that look like?
So it's all online and electronic. So we use the platform Thinkific, and it really is it's about 5 hours, which sounds not like a lot, but it's jam-packed. So I always tell people you can't do it in one sitting. There's just too much information there. But it has videos that about 25% is the theory, 75% is the practical, walking you through how to fill things out, giving you the stories behind it, teaching you not only about the templates and how to fill it out, but how to use it as a tool. Because these templates are also tools and techniques, so that when you have something that's occurring in a project or an activity at the corporate world, it's not just a tool that you use to fill out, it's a technique that you use a tool and a template in order to get you an end result as well. So a really good example of that would be, let's say there is something going on that didn't turn out. So you would use the after action review template in Slay. And that after action review template is a really good technique to take away emotional charge, get to the root, and readdress things and recourse correct. Another good example as well is when in corporate world, this is notorious, and I don't know, maybe in the cop world it is too, but we have projects and we call it's like gold plating or scope creep, where people want more and more put onto that without actually giving you more money or more people. Common problem. So a technique that I teach in Slay is great. Use a change control form. That change control form is going to act as a barrier. It's a one pager, but when you ask people to start filling it out, it's a technique where if someone's like, well, it's really not that important anymore, all of a sudden that request to add something, because it's so easy, stops, because you're asking people to think. So it's a great way to keep professional, a great way to stay respectful, a great way to say yes, but to give it back to the person. So in essence, they'll say no. But if things do move forward, it also gives you the key information you need. So you're properly planning out your project. Again, being thorough, investigating, ensuring that you have all the right elements to be successful and deliver. And that, I think, is in the cop world and the corporate world. It's just that there's certain tools and techniques in the corporate world that corporations are used to and are expected. And that's a lot of what project management is all about.
So once you finish the Slay project management program, do you get any sort of certificate?
Absolutely. In fact, there's two that you're going to get. One is a completion certificate, which is really important. So congratulations, you completed Slay. I think it's an amazing accomplishment when people do that. Number two, there's an exam. And if you pass, you get a micro credential that you can then say that you're a project management associate through Slay Project Management. And that you can actually put on your LinkedIn profile, you can actually put it on your resume. And now I'll be honest, it's not an easy exam. You have to have 80 and over to pass. But the nice thing is we allow people to take it as many times as they like, because we're not here to stop people from being successful. If anything, the more you take it, the more it reinforces learning, because it's not just a regurgitation of the information, it's scenario based. So if you're in this scenario, how would you use the tools and techniques you just learned in Slay? And again, we're constantly adding to it. So it is a resource. It's not just a training course. It is a true resource that you can go back to as many times as you need, watch one or two videos or all of it, particularly when you need it and you need an example. So it is definitely going to be something that you're going to go to all the time. And the last little thing is we also have a private group for Slayers who've signed up that they can ask questions to the community as well as to me. So you have access to me after the course too.
Absolutely. And this sounds like a really amazing course, and something that if you're considering leaving law enforcement, that you should take before you actually leave. So you really prepare yourself with those skills to come out into the corporate world, and you have those accolades on your resume to say that you've completed this, and that not only looks good on your resume, but it really helps you be good at whatever the next job is that you're doing. So thank you so much. With everything being said, do you have any other advice on transitioning cops to corporate?
Definitely believe in yourself. I mean, I think, again, as I said earlier on, I think that fear and it's the unknown and can you do this? Of course you can. We all can. We just need to have the right things set up for us so that we can let go of our fear, have the skill set we need in order to move forward and take that leap of faith, because I know a lot of people who transition into new careers are so glad that they did. I haven't heard anyone be very grateful that they stayed stuck. No one's ever said that. They're always grateful that they moved on. So I think it's awesome, first of all, that you even have this podcast to help people transition into the corporate world. So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you so much again. Go follow her on YouTube. Go sign up for Slay. I think you'll learn a lot. So thank you, everyone. Adriana Girdler.